Hello and welcome to Data Centre Review Live 2026. This event is all about hearing from some of the industry's leading voices on the big issues shaping the UK data centre sector. Alongside the main stage sessions, we're also catching up one-to-one with key industry voices. I'm joined by Paul Willoughby from EnerSys to get his perspective on where the industry is headed, what needs to change, and how data centres can scale quickly while delivering responsibly. Paul, thank you for joining us. The UK data centre is under pressure to scale quickly but responsibly. From your perspective, what's the biggest single challenge facing the sector right now?
Well, I think the power is the main one, which talked about a lot. But I think to do that, to build sustainably and efficiently, I think is the biggest challenge. Difficult juggling act, but I think that's the way forward. There's a lot of scrutiny on the industry, so they have to be sustainable, energy efficient.
AI and high-performance computing lead the conversation both at this event and throughout the industry as a whole. What do operators need to rethink most urgently when designing or upgrading facilities for these workloads?
Well, I think from a battery perspective, and EnerSys have been asked this from a few operators, is the impact on the batteries themselves. I know the UPS guys will probably look at stopping the impact on the batteries, but the load from an AI load is a spiky load, it's often referred to, and there's an impact on the batteries, so they need to consider that to appropriately size and put the correct battery in to support that load.
We hear about surging growth in AI infrastructure, but one of the biggest challenges that comes up time and time again is access to power. How should the industry balance its growth ambitions against that power deficiency?
I think it's come out of some of the sessions today, maybe look into other areas. I know there's lots of pockets for data centers, but there's industrial power plants or old industrial sites that can be used. So it's maybe looking elsewhere to solve that power constraint. There's already power available to some of these industrial sites. So broadening the horizons maybe.
The growing power needs come at a time when the nation itself as a whole is looking to decarbonise, and data centres have been highlighted for their impact on the environment. So where do you see the biggest opportunity for the industry to reduce its environmental impact while again pursuing its growth strategy?
I suppose it refers back to the same sustainable way forward. I think a lot of the things we come up against is you're too expensive on the day one. But from a TCO perspective, the cost of ownership is pays back better than the day one cost. So maybe broadening what does it cost today and looking ahead to what it would cost at the end of it, because there seems to be a lot of throwaway mentality in the industry, drive the cost down, day one cost, but maybe look across the TCO and use it that way, more sustainable, more for your money.
Another major challenge and something that's been discussed on the stage today is trust. The industry seems to be struggling with communication and has been vilified by some elements of society. So what does it need to do to build public trust and to explain its value to the UK economy?
Well, I think it's education. I mean, there's a good anecdote for that. When I was in DC Ireland a few years ago and there was protesters outside the event protesting data centres. They were streaming it on Instagram. Obviously the education side of it, you're protesting something and you're part of the problem. We're all part of the problem. We all want it now. We all want it quick. So I think it's education. A lot of people don't know what a data center is, what it does, but we all use it on a daily basis. So it's education for me.
Meeting future demand isn't just going to come from new build sites, although those are the ones that often get most of the opposition. A lot will depend on upgrades and retrofits across existing facilities. So what do operators need to prioritise when modernising legacy infrastructure?
I think it goes back to the TCO concept. Build it for the long term rather than the day one. I think the existing kit, a lot of legacy kits, maybe not built for it, but you can plan ahead by looking at you get a payback. The battery, for example, it can be an asset rather than just sit there standalone doing nothing. So it's looking at the total cost and the return you can get on from that investment. So doing it properly from the start, I guess.
Looking ahead to the next generation of UK data centres, what do you think is going to separate out the leaders from the rest of the pack over the next 3 to 5 years?
You've got to build for the growth, but you've got to do it in the right way. Sustainable, you're not going to get away from that. Carbon reduction, you're not going to get away from that. Energy efficiency. So you have to consider all those while keeping up with that growth. Some of the growth is big, but you've got to do it the right way. Otherwise you're going to lose the way and that criticism that data centers get, maybe then it will be a bit more valid. So we need to do it the right way.
Paul, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your perspective.
Thank you.
For more conversations and insight from Data Center Review Live 2026, head to the DCR website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or follow us across our social channels. But for now, thanks for watching.